Good evening. My name is Joe Gloria, Registrar of Voters in Clark County. Thank you for joining me this evening on this election virtual town hall. We're holding the town meeting this evening to provide you with information related to the upcoming primary election. As you probably already know, this election will be an all-mail ballot election in Clark County. And earlier this month, the Clark County Election Department sent mail ballots out to all registered voters in Clark County. Many of you have already received your mail ballot. However, if in the past week you have recently updated your information or only recently applied to be a brand new voter in Clark County, we may still be in the process of sending you a ballot through the mail. While voters have been able to vote a mail ballot in Clark County for many years, we're holding this town hall to give you information for those of you who have not had an opportunity to vote a mail ballot in the past. So first, I would like to walk you through a mail ballot packet and what's enclosed in the ballot packet and how you should use it. I brought a sample with me this evening. So this is very similar, or actually identical, to what you will receive in the mail. Within the mail ballot envelope, you will have three items. First off, there's a return envelope that you will reuse to put your ballot inside of its secrecy sleeve and send back to us. Secondly, there's a secrecy sleeve that also doubles as the voting instructions that you should pay close attention to. There are do's and don'ts in the instructions that we provide to you, and also some very clear instructions on what to do in case you make a mistake on your ballot and how to correctly make that correction so that your vote will count. And lastly, you will receive your official mail ballot. It's important to note that there are two sides to the mail ballot. And so you need to be sure to look at the races on both sides of the ballot. And to fill out the ballot, as you'll see in the instructions, you simply fill out the oval to the right of the candidate of your choice. Once you've made all of your selections, you will take your mail ballot, place it inside of your secrecy sleeve, but before placing it into the envelope, be sure to remove the I voted sticker that we've provided to you and post it prominently somewhere so all voters in Clark County know that you've cast your ballot in Clark County. Once you've removed the sticker, you simply place it inside of the return envelope that we've provided you, and then seal the envelope. And this is very important for all voters. On the back of the return envelope, you will print your name across on this line here, and then down below, it's extremely important that you sign the envelope. This is what we use to verify your identity before we process this ballot. Now, after you've signed your envelope, this is ready to be placed in the mail, and you will notice on the front that we've paid the postage. So we strongly encourage you to make use of that postage-paid envelope and put it in the mail to get back to us in order to be voted. Some other items to keep in mind that you will also note in the instructions: please use a blue or black pen. Do not use a red pen. And also remember that you have other opportunities to deliver that ballot to us. You can also use one of the drop-off sites that are provided to you at various locations, and visiting our website at www.clarkcountynv.gov/vote will provide you with the information on the several sites that we have available. On Election Day, we will have 30 sites available to you to make use of on Election Day. Now I would like to take a minute to talk about the voter registration. If you are eligible to vote in Clark County, but you are not registered to vote, I encourage you to register soon. You will need to use the online voter registration at this point, which you can reach by going to www.registertovoteenv.gov. You must have a Nevada driver's license or identification card in order to utilize the online registration. If you get that registration in by May 21st, we will be sending you a mail ballot through the mail. After May 21st, starting May 22nd, if you use the online registration, which will be available to you through June 4th, you will have to show up in person to vote at one of our sites. For the 14-day period from May 23rd to June 5th, that location will be at our election facility, 965 Trade Drive. We will also be adding 2 other sites on Election Day where you can vote in person with that online registration. Also remember that all of that information is always available on our website. Voters who lose or accidentally destroy the mail ballot that was sent to them may also use these in-person locations to get a new ballot or replacement ballot, or take advantage of calling 702-455-VOTE, speak with a member of my staff, and indicate that you need a replacement ballot, and up to June 2nd, we will send that ballot in the mail for you to re-vote and send back to us through the postage-paid envelope. Thank you for giving me a few minutes to talk about the process. Also, before we move on to some of the questions that have been submitted, there is another website that is also helpful for voters, and that is www.mailitinnevada.com for additional information related to the all-mail ballot election in Nevada. So starting with the questions that have been submitted, the first question is, why is this primary election being conducted entirely by mail ballot? The June 9, 2020 primary election will be conducted entirely by mail ballot in Clark County in an effort to limit interactions that could spread the coronavirus. We do not want voters to have to choose between voting and making and risking their health. So that decision was made in order to make sure that we enfranchise all voters and give them an opportunity to vote in this election in the privacy of their own home. The next question is, this is a big change from a regular election. What are you doing to make sure that people know that they need to vote by mail ballot? We've put out a lot of information, including the information that you receive in your mail ballot, but we also sent out a mailer to voters in the month of April, giving them information related to the all-mail ballot election and when to expect their ballot. Also, the Secretary of State has put together several PSAs that I'm sure many of you will see in the news, and we're going to show them to you now.
This is Liz. Liz is what you might call an enthusiast. She's enthusiastic about her rose garden, her book club, and her colossal collection of colorful scrubs. She's also enthusiastic about helping her fellow Nevadans protect their health. That's why when she votes in our upcoming primary election, Liz will be enthusiastically mailing her vote in. Voting by mail is simple, convenient, and the smartest possible way to safeguard everyone's health. So be like Liz. Mail it in, Nevada. This is Shauna. Shauna knows what's important. She values her family. She values her career. She definitely values when free time comes her way. And this year, Shauna will value her vote in Nevada's upcoming primary election by mailing it in. Her ballot will arrive by mail. She'll easily cruise through the process and safely mail it back. Shauna knows the process is secure. She knows signatures are verified, and Shauna knows her vote has value. So be like Shauna. Mail it in, Nevada. This is Lieutenant Colonel Steve. He's always planning, always thinking. He's still working to ensure Nevada stays safe. And this primary election, Steve will vote how our military has always voted, by mailing it in. See, Steve hasn't always been home to vote, so voting by mail this primary election only, no problem. It's simple, it's secure, and most importantly, his vote has always been counted. Be like Steve. Mail it in, Nevada.
A very important message through all of those PSAs. Take advantage of the mail ballot that has been sent to you, vote in the comfort of your home, and mail it in Nevada. Moving on to our next question. When can I mail in my ballot? You can mail back your ballot to us at any point once you've finished reviewing your ballot and making the choices that you wanted to make for this election. We've already received tens of thousands of ballots. If you're going to mail us your ballot, please remember that it needs to be postmarked on or before June 9th. As long as it's postmarked by June 9th, we can receive that ballot by June 16th and process that ballot to be voted. Very important to remember, on the back of your return envelope, it's very important that you sign the back of the envelope so that we can verify your identity and move that ballot forward to be processed. The next question is from Facebook. I forgot to use the secrecy sleeve. Is that okay? Absolutely. The secrecy sleeve is put in there for the protection of the privacy of your ballot when we process it. However, when we receive it, if it has not been sent in with a secrecy sleeve, we will place a secrecy sleeve over that ballot to protect the privacy of that ballot. So do not neglect to send your ballot back to us because you lost the secrecy sleeve, or if you've forgotten to put it on, that's absolutely okay. Our next question. I really would rather vote on a regular voting machine. Can I do that this election? In this particular election, we will not be using any of the voting machines that you normally see used for early voting and election day. If you show up to one of our in-person sites, either to get a replacement ballot or to register online, after registering online, you will receive a mail ballot and you will be given an opportunity to vote that ballot on site in one of the privacy booths that are provided. What should I do if I lose my mail ballot? If you have any problem with your ballot, you should immediately contact our office at 702-455-VOTE. My staff can make arrangements for you to get a new ballot in the mail as long as we receive that request by June 2nd, or you can come to any of the in-person voting sites and we will issue a replacement ballot to you. But we would much prefer that you contact our office so that we can resend a ballot to you. Next question is, what if I make a mistake on my ballot and vote for the wrong person? In my opening, I mentioned that you'll be getting a set of instructions with every single ballot that goes out. In the instructions, there's some very clear direction at the bottom of those instructions that indicate to you that you simply need to draw a straight line through the candidate that you did not want to choose, and then fill in the oval to the right of the candidate that you would like to make the choice for. As long as you do it in that fashion, your ballot will still be processed and the correct candidate will be selected. Let me just warn you, do not use correction fluid and do not mark the ballot in any way with your name or anything of that nature that would disqualify the ballot. Simply making that change with one line through and making a new selection will get that done for you. Next question. Will the election in November be a mail ballot election also? At this point in time, we fully plan to support an election in October and November that all voters in Clark County have become accustomed to, with a 14-day early voting period at several sites throughout the county, and then again on Election Day with the vote centers that we've provided in the past. We do not currently intend to use an all-mail ballot election for the November election. Next question, how are you going to make sure there isn't any election fraud with a mail ballot election? That's a good question, and it's very important to point out to all voters that mail ballots are not brand new to Clark County. We've had several steps in place for many years to verify the identity of the voter when the ballot is received in our office. One of the things that's most important in returning your ballot is that you sign that ballot. If that signature does not match, we will be required to notify the voter that their signature did not match in the system, and they will have to call in, or if we can reach them by phone number or email, let them know that they're going to have to provide some additional information in order to identify that it was their ballot and they are the ones that sent it in. These steps have been in place for many years, and there's a 4-step process involved that involves a computer that verifies that signature, staffers who go through and verify the signature, as well as a bipartisan group of workers who go through and verify that that signature matches. So the integrity of the process is it's a good process here in Clark County. Next question. When will election results be available? There were several changes in election law that are going to delay us getting out our final unofficial. So on election night, whatever we've read into the system, to our tabulation system, we will put out a report that evening that gives our first unofficial report on all results in the election. However, since voters can send in their ballot postmarked by June 9th, and we're required to give them through June 16th in order to have that ballot processed and still be counted, our final results, or final unofficial leading into the canvass, won't be available to the evening of Tuesday, June 16th, and possibly as late as Wednesday morning, the 17th. So it will take a little bit longer to get our final unofficial information out. Next question. I didn't get my mail ballot yet. What should I do? Any issue with your mail ballot, and in particular if you have not received it at this point, you should call our office at 702-455-VOTE. A member of our staff will help you in getting a new ballot sent out to you, and there is also an opportunity, if you choose to do so, to receive that ballot via email electronically, and you can make those choices at home and send that ballot back to us securely. Our next question comes from Facebook. What do I need to do to vote in the primary? In order to vote in the primary, if you were already registered, as I mentioned earlier, you've already received your ballot in the mail. So read the instructions, do the homework, research your candidates, make the choices that you want to make for the primary election, and get that ballot into your return envelope, sign it, and send it back to us. If you are not registered, you still have an opportunity to register online through May 21st and still receive a ballot in the mail, or after May 21st, starting May 22nd, you can still register online through June 4th. However, in that time period, you'll be required to vote in person at one of our in-person voting sites. The next question is, when is the last day I can send in my mail ballot? You have up until June 9th. As long as that ballot is postmarked by June 9th and we receive it by June 16th, your ballot will be counted. And I should also point out, and I mentioned earlier, going to our website at www.clarkcountynv.gov/vote, you can find information on several drop-off locations where you can drop off your ballot and it will get to our office to be processed. But again, we strongly encourage you to take advantage of that postage-paid envelope and send it back to us via U.S. mail. Next question. What should I do if I haven't received my ballot yet? Again, if you have any issues at this point and have not received your ballot, you should immediately contact my office, 702-455-VOTE, and my staff will assist you in getting a new ballot. Next question. Is it too late for me to change my political party? No, it is not too late for you to make that change. However, you'll have to use the online voter registration, which requires a Nevada ID or Nevada driver's license. And again, as long as you do that by May 21st, you will receive a mail ballot in the mail according to the updated information that you've requested. You can also come in person to any of the 3 sites that we'll have available on Election Day or for the 14-day period. And the last method for you to make that change would be online again from May 22nd to June 4th. But if you make that update online, you would definitely have to come in person to get that ballot. Next question, and this question comes to us from Facebook. I don't remember if I used my middle initial when registered. What should I do to sign my ballot? When we match the signature, if you didn't put your middle initial, that's not going to disqualify your ballot. And some people will register to vote with their full first name and forget that if they put Joseph and their name is actually Joe. If they sign Joe and the last name that we have in the system, as long as the signature style matches, we will still process your ballot and it will be counted. Next question. How do I register to vote? So at this point, you have to register to vote online. Going online to www.registertovotenv.gov, be sure that you have your Nevada driver's license or ID. It'll be required in order for you to make that registration. Through May 21st, you will still get a mail ballot mailed to your house. After that, if you register online, you will have to come in person to cast your ballot. Next question. If I moved recently, how will you make sure I get my ballot? If you've moved and you didn't make the change in your registration, you now need to notify us. So if you haven't received your ballot and you feel that you were previously registered, again, you should be contacting my office at 702-455-VOTE. My staff is prepared and we have several people on the line to assist you. The next question is, where can I find information about the candidates? The election department needs to remain completely nonpartisan. So in the state of Nevada, we do not provide information on the candidates. What I would strongly recommend that you do is look through the media. There are several outlets here locally where you can find information on the candidates, or simply do a search on the internet and try to find out as much information as you possibly can. But we cannot provide you any information related to the candidates and their experience. How are you going to keep people safe at the in-person sites? Which is another great question. We've put a lot of effort into designing the sites that we're going to be using. For the 14-day period, that site is located right at our election center, and we're taking all precautions in being sure that the processing stations where you register and get your ballot are 6 feet apart. We've put in place barriers so that the voters that come in have a barrier between them and the voter. All of our queue lines are going to be spaced appropriately. There'll be some within the warehouse area, and if it happens to spill over that area, we'll have to line people outside of the warehouse facility, but they will be 6 feet apart. The PPE will be provided to all of our workers, and we strongly encourage voters to make use of one of the masks when they come in to vote, to keep everybody safe and make sure that we don't spread the virus. Next question. I got a mail ballot for someone who doesn't live at my address anymore. What should I do with it? You should return that ballot to us, and you can do so by marking on the outside of the ballot, "Return to sender, no longer resident." Send that ballot back to my office, and we will process that ballot and look into whether that voter needs to be canceled or put in inactive status. Next question. The law requires you to provide same-day voter registration. Can I wait to register to vote on election day? You certainly could wait to register on election day, but I strongly encourage you to take advantage of it right away. You still have the opportunity to take care of your registration online with a Nevada ID or driver's license, and up through May 21st, we will still send you a mail ballot through the mail. After that date, you will have no choice but to come in person to one of our sites in order to cast your ballot. But I would take advantage of doing it right away. Don't wait for early voting. Don't wait for election day. Register online and we'll get you a ballot in the mail. Next question. Some people say mail ballots make it easier to cheat in an election. How are you going to make sure that doesn't happen? I spoke earlier about the process that we use in order to process ballots in Clark County. Some of it is statutorily required, and we've put extra steps in place actually, and have made use of a brand new system that we've brought in order to process the increased number of ballots that we'll see for this primary election, where the ballots get passed through a computer, and that computer has the ability to match that signature up against any of the previously signed signatures that we have in our system. So should anybody try to do something that would be illegal in voting a ballot that is not their own and sending that in, they would again be forced to sign the back of that ballot in order for us to process it. And once we checked for the identity of that voter, we would see that that signature does not match. We would contact that voter. If this was somebody who had received this ballot in a nefarious way, there would be no way for them to contact us and give us any of the personal information, and they wouldn't have that available. So these are checks that are in place to make sure that we uphold the integrity of the process. If you're aware of anything that seems nefarious, we encourage you to call our office and report those to us. Next question. I think I was exposed to the coronavirus. Can I still vote? Do I need to do anything special? We certainly don't want you to leave your home if you've been exposed. And that's one of the main reasons why we've made arrangements for an all-mail ballot election. So with the all-mail ballot election, you can vote your ballot in your home. And if you're not registered and you feel you've been exposed to the coronavirus, you can still register online in the comfort of your home, not taking the chance of exposing anyone else in the community. So take advantage of what we've put in place so that you can cast your ballot safely and put that postage-paid envelope in the mail so that we can get it and process it. Thank you. We really appreciate you taking the time to come to our election virtual town hall. I hope that I provided some information that answers some of the questions you may have had. If we had a question that we did not answer this evening, please call our office again. It's 702-455-VOTE. My staff is prepared to help you. And please remember that there are several sites where you can get good information. The first one being my website at www.clarkcountynv.gov/vote. If you still need to register, you need to go online using the Secretary of State site, and that site is www.registertovoteenv.gov. And the Secretary of State has prepared a very informative site as well that we encourage you to use. And that's www.mailitinnevada.com. Please take advantage of all the processes we've put in place to keep you safe and the community in general. Vote your ballot and mail it in Nevada. Thank you.